everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm John Pettifordale, CEO Infinity with myecon, seven-figure cash flow producer. Now, if you have not been to this channel before, I teach people about all things financial, and I help people all over this country. Now, what I do want to talk about today, the subject matter, is going to be the wealth gap. Now, I know that you may have heard something on the news or just heard something in general. The wealthy are getting wealthier, or the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, the middle class is shrinking. All those things are true, okay? So the question, though, is number one, why is that happening? And number two, what can you do about it? So I wanted to upload a video to really kind of give you an understanding of that. But before we get started in the video, I need you to do a couple things. Number one, if this is your first time to the channel and you have not subscribed, I want you to click the little red subscribe button. Hey, subscribe so you can be notified when I have things going on. And hit that little bell notification because those things are very important. And one last thing, like my video, okay? If it's something that you think is beneficial to you, I want you to click on like so YouTube knows that my content is something that is absolutely helping the community. So let's get started and get right into the video. I'll see you soon. We are now recording and I am showing and sharing my screen. We're good to go and rocking and rolling. Thank you everyone for getting on the call tonight. As you know, this is our Thursday night call. This is where we spend time talking about details about our business, the basics, the technical training. We do a different class typically every Thursday night. These classes are definitely for, everyone, especially your newer people. And what you want to be doing is you want to be getting those people on this call as they get into your business. Their first week in business, if it's Monday night, Tuesday, whatever, let them know, hey, Thursday night, we got a training at 10 p.m. We got to do a better job at letting people know about this training. Yeah, we have it listed in the bag, but it's in the documents. It's kind of down there. And a lot of times people don't go down there and look at that stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So I think the onus is on us to kind of let them know that we got this training. And tonight, typically the training is done by our co-founder, our illustrious leader, Mr. Alvin Curry, our amazing leader. And tonight he is not able to jump on because he actually has some other things that he's taking care of for us at corporate. He's trying to make sure all y'all money is right? So they just transfer some software and stuff and getting things right so we can be better, stronger, and faster, okay, at corporate. And of course, when corporate is stronger, we are stronger. So they're taking care of some stuff tonight. But I'm going to do a class tonight. And before I get started, first of all, remember, we've got a vision. Our vision here at myecon is that we're going to create 1 million millionaires. Okay, we want to get this done. Now, we're going to do that through a multitude of things. We're going to do it through the networking side of things. There's going to be a percentage of people to do that, very small, but a percentage. But realistically, we're going to have a whole truckload of people that do it through the financial principles and strategies that we teach through our concept called income shifting. Now, if you don't understand income shifting, maybe you're new and you got to, you definitely need to get with somebody that can tell you, but what we do is we're shifting cash flow from other places, bringing it back to your possession, and then you use it to your advantage, okay? We start with lowering your taxes by correcting the W-4, getting some money back, $200, $300, $400, maybe $500, okay? We take that money, we got it back into your paycheck. Now that we got that money back into your paycheck, now what we do is we can strategically use that to either pay down debt, or we can use it to invest. And then, of course, we got our credit program. You're going to get better credit. Now that you got better credit, your bills are going to lower. Car insurance rates are going to go down, okay? Credit card rates are going to go down. Car payment could go down if you refinance. House payment could go down if you refinance. So that could save you $200, $300 more a month, okay? Now that's income shifting again. Take that money, put it towards compound interest. Put it towards some things that can help you grow, okay, financially. Then, of course, we got debt elimination. If you pay off a debt, let's say you got a car note that's $300, you pay it off. Now that's $300 in new money created. That's just like making new money, okay? Actually, in some ways, it's better because there's no taxation on that, right? It's a net savings. Like we save you on tax, that's a net savings. If we pay off a debt, that's a net savings. 100% of that money now goes to whatever you wanted to do. You can take that money and invest it. And then, of course, we're buying up America a piece at a time by investing. We can do it $20, $50, $100, $1,000 at a time. And now we take that money and we build our wealth. That's the process of income shifting, folks. See, there was a company that created a system called buy term and invest the difference. They would save people going from whole life to whole life, universal life to term life insurance. They might have saved people $50, $75 a month. And then their idea was to take that savings and put it into an investment account. And that was great. And as a matter of fact, they built one of the largest financial companies in the world with that concept. But imagine this. Imagine what we're doing. What we're doing is we're saying lower your taxes by $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000. Take that money, pay off some debt, and invest. Man, if they can build a big company with helping people save $75 a month, imagine what we can do saving people $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 a month. Man, we're just getting started in myecon. There's hundreds of millions of people that need what we have. There's hundreds of millions of people looking for it. But if you don't get out there and let them know, they don't know. They don't know you got it. They don't know you're the one with the answer. And if they don't know you're the one with the answer, they can't get in this business through you. And you can't build a business and help them. Okay? So that's what we want to do. So we're still rolling 1 million millionaires by 2030. Okay. Now we also got something else coming up this weekend. Guess what? Bam. We got that thing called a Super Saturday. You know what we do on Super Saturday? We're going to start at about 9:45. We're going to go to 2:15. We training on the technical details. Man, we got some up and coming stars. We got one of our leading infinities, Mr. Robert Webster, on the thing. Man, we haven't seen Robert Webster in a while on the panel. He's going to be excited. He's going to be ready to go. He's got some things. Then we got James Hall out there in West Virginia. We got Taniki out there. You know, we got JT out of North Carolina. We're going to be off the hook. And then, of course, we've got Alvin Curry. But here's the thing. Number one, here's how you want to make sure you lead your team. Number one, you need to be on the training. That's number one. Some people, I see us telling people to get on and we ain't getting on. That's sorry leadership. That's poor leadership. You need to get on and get your folks on. You need to beat them there. Don't be showing up late. Get there on time. Get there with bells on. Be ready to rock and roll. Okay? And then, of course, you know what we do after that. We got our meeting after the meeting. Now, you can choose to get off at 2:15. But you know what the meeting after meeting is? See, from 9:45 to 2:15, we got a set agenda. We're going to do some very specific things. Very specific. We're going to talk about some very specific subjects. But what if we don't hit the subject you're looking for? What if we don't get that one thing that you're looking for and need to go out and build that emerging millionaire inside you? You need to stay for the meeting after the meeting. Let's have some conversation. Let's answer some questions. Ask some questions. Answer some questions. Listen to other questions being asked. Man, I grew so much by being at the meeting after the meeting. I learned so much that wasn't talked about during the day's training. You might want to stick around. You might want to cancel mostly everything you got until the thing is done. That's just a suggestion. Don't shoot the messenger, but you need to be on that training. We're going to be rocking and rolling. Let your teams know. Let your teams know. The worst thing you can do is not promote. See, as leaders, we got to promote. We got to talk about this. If it's not talked about, it won't be heard about. Tell your team, let them know. They need to get on, be there, be square, bring a sandwich, bring the coffee, sit it next to the desk, and let's get busy. Okay? But now, we're getting ready to get started into what I call the subject matter tonight. Okay? And I think this is something very important because we got to understand the wealth gap. Okay? If you go out here and you do some research, you can look at the last 30, 35, 40 years in this country, and you'll see, or you'll hear them talking about, and they'll be giving examples of how the wealth gap just continues to get wider and wider and wider. Or they might say things like this. The middle class is disappearing. The middle class is shrinking. Okay? People are getting further and further behind. The 1% is running away with all the new earned income or the income growth. They're getting most of the income growth in this country. And over the last 10 years, it's got to went crazy. I mean, it's just skyrocketed through the roof. Do you understand why that happens? Do you understand what's going on with that? See, I think if you start to understand the concept of what's happening with that, you'll understand our business much better. See, we have set our business up very specifically and very on purpose for what we're trying to do. There's very specific reasons why we set it up the way we do. And when you understand why this is happening with the wealth gap, and then you go look at our program, you look at the myecon business model, you go look at the income shifting concept, and I'm going to show you exactly how it fits to start solving this problem. See, I don't want you to think we got some little tiny business. We got the biggest business on the planet. Income shifting is the #1 product in the world. Everybody need it, everybody want it, everybody looking for it, and very few places to go get it. And myecon has what is called first mover advantage. We got out here first and started teaching it. We got out here first with the system and put them all in place. And we've got a head start on everybody. And if we mess around and get another 5 years on this without nobody, because ain't nobody really copied us. I know we got some folks that said they copied, but it's not the same thing. They ain't doing the same thing. So let's talk about it. Let's take a look at this, guys. Move this thing here if I can move it. See if I can move it around. All right. Let's start out in 1970 here. And see that line across the bottom? That's a timeline. So we got 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. So that's several decades. Now, back then, the wealth gap and all that wasn't really growing as fast as it's growing now. It was very little. And then that thing started kind of moving and moving as that timeline continued to grow. Look what happened. It started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That gap in the middle, as that line gets bigger, that's the wealth gap. That's the haves and the difference between the haves and the have-nots. That line up there, that's the top 1% growing. Now, what I didn't put on here is of everybody else that's not in the that's in the middle class, that's not in the top 1 to 3%. They line kind of stayed flat across the bottom. It just kept going straight. It didn't go up it went up very, very little bit. I'm gonna do another training on this and clean these slides up. But the middle class, this is just boom, straight across the bottom. Just say it looked just like the timeline. As a matter of fact, when you start looking at inflation, people in this country, they did not get a pay raise in the last 40 years. 40, 50 years, they did not get a pay raise. They got a little pay raise on the job, but then inflation came in there and just negative the thing out, and they went straight across. They didn't get a pay raise all the time. So that's a problem. But now, I think you want to start asking a question. Why in the world did the middle class stay flat? And why in the world did the 1% do what they did? It's a very specific reason. And see, you got to practice principles of wealth and not principles of poverty. I'm going to say that again. You need to practice principles of wealth and not principles of poverty. See, if you do what broke people do, you're going to get what broke people got. Now, a lot of people in this country, they went and followed a system. And that system was go to school, get a good education, get a good job, work hard, keep your nose clean, save a little bit of money, everything gonna be okay. Now I want you to think about that. There's nothing wrong with going to school. There's nothing wrong with working hard. There's nothing wrong with keeping your nose clean and finding a job. But if you think that's going to get you wealth by itself, all you got to do is look around. Look around at everybody around you that just followed that plan and didn't do much of anything else. Out of 100 of them, how many of them got wealth? How many of them built financial success? Look at the people that are retired around you. What percentage of them have a lifestyle that you want? What percentage of them have enough money to live how they want to live? Or do they focus on or rely on social insecurity? I would say the majority of them, just based on statistics, you can look it up. They have the family members, they have the government trying to help them get along, and they don't have all the money they need to live how they want to live. And those are the people that follow that strategy. See, the writing is on the wall. It's everywhere around us. Just because we don't look at it don't mean it's not there. If we put our head in the sand doesn't mean it's not there. If you're in a bad relationship and you just choose not to look at it, that don't mean the man ain't a sorry, no good, dirty dog, right? If that's what he is. So we got to address the issue. We got to utilize principles. Matter of fact, the same principles that the top 1% using, and that line is going up. That's the top 1%. So let's talk about it. Wealthy people, move this out of the way here. All right, wealthy people, they make most of their income from a business and investments. Even if you look at somebody who don't build a business, but they have wealth, and maybe they inherited it, that was still through investments, or somebody even had a business or sold the business and made money, and then they got an investment, and then they left an inheritance for their children. See, Sam Walton, he built a business. Now his family still owns that business. That was a legacy. But a business is also an investment, guys. And then through your sweat equity, you help it grow. And a business has infinite amounts of growth. It can grow infinitely. But let's take a look at people who don't have much money, the middle class. See, wealthy people focused on wealth. They said, I'm going to build a business and I'm going to build investments. They do all of one or a combination of both. Don't none of them say top salesperson. I want you to think about that. But it always say business owner or investment person. Now look at middle class. They make all of their income from a job. 95% of the people in this country do not own a business. They have very little investing. Because remember, taxes and debt take up all their money. See, before the pandemic, 50% of the people in this country didn't have $400 in the bank. 60% didn't have $500, and 70% didn't have $1,000 before COVID-19. Now, let's take a look at the job. Does the job have a ceiling? Y'all know the answer. Yes. Do they pay unlimited amounts of money over there? No. They give you a 20% pay raise or 1% pay raise or whatever they want to call it. Then inflation, take that out. They cannot grow. The mechanics of wealth is not there. And see, people think that, well, the government need to do this. No, maybe you need to go get wealth creation principles in your life. What a job need to do this. No, maybe you need to go build wealth creation principles in your life. Maybe you need to stop doing what broke people do and start doing what wealthy people do. That's the only way my life changed. If I would have just stayed down on the job, never built residual income, never built leverage income, I'd never have either one of those things. I'd never have an asset called a business. What if I just stayed down there at the hotel at the airport and just stayed down on that thing and just never made a change? I'd have whatever those people did, which is not very much. Okay? Now, here's an example. I hope you can see this. See, those people, I want you to think about this. Let's go back to the first slide. These people have been compounding since the 1970s. Maybe somebody left them an inheritance, for example, of $10,000. Let's use the rule of 72. If you had $10,000 back here in 1970, okay, and you're using the rule of 72, if they got a 7% interest rate, okay, you divide 72 by 7, you come up with 10. So every 10 years, that $10,000 would turn into $20,000. It would double, right? So let's say we started out in 1970 and we got $10,000. Somebody left an inheritance, but now it's in an investment account. I want y'all to see something. So now by 1980, we got 20,000. By 1990, we got 40,000. By 2000, we got 80,000. By 2010, we got 160,000. By 2020, we got 320,000. $320,000. Now, what if somebody left them $100,000? They compounded it, just keep going. It never stops. What if it was a business, though? What if it was a business that was left to them, or that they started in 1970 and that started to compound and grow? Look at what Jeff Bezos started Amazon in the mid-90s. He was selling books. And see, a business got infinite growth. It's not going to grow at 7%. It can grow at 100%. It can grow at 500%. It can grow at 1,000%. It can grow at 10,000%. He went from zero in mid-90s to today is worth 1.7 trillion with a T. And people say, oh, no, he don't need all that money. Yo, yes, he do. He built it. People say, oh, man, we need to take some of his money. Wait a minute. He took a risk. Other people went out and said, I'm not going to take no risk. I'm not going to do nothing different. I'm going to stay me. I just want to be me. I just want to do my job. I want my check on Sunday or Friday or Saturday or whatever you get paid. And he went out and put his money in the business. His income grew exponentially. Yours didn't do nothing. And then when he went out and became the wealthiest man in the world, people that got mad at him like he did something wrong. Wait a minute. Do not let that thinking poison your wealth mentality. See, that's poison. See, if he can go do it, why can't you? If you choose not to, that's not his fault. That ain't the government's fault. It's not your job's fault. We are all responsible for what? That's why we call it my economy, myecon. I think y'all starting to get the picture here. That's why we put you in business, because you can grow exponentially over here at myecon. You can grow a business 1,000% the first year. So you remember on tax savings, you get 1,000% return on just taxes without commissions. What if you get commissions? And you take the tax savings and commission, put it into your investment account. See, that's what we're doing. We're teaching you how to compound. But the problem is middle-class people don't have anything to compound. This is why their income does not grow. Wages do not compound. Wages do not compound. Salaries do not compound. Guys, I'm putting you up on it tonight. Don't ever get it twisted. You got the best opportunity on the planet. Why? Because you got the shot to build wealth. And everybody, no matter who you are, you got a shot. You can try. Now, some of us got more obstacles than others, but guess what? You still can win. Somebody like me can go become a millionaire. Somebody like you can go become a millionaire. Somebody like Alvin Curry can come from Mississippi, go become a millionaire. Somebody like Ivy Stokes can come from Twin City, Georgia, start his business with $10. And today, do you understand his business created 9 figures? 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 figures started with $10. It's because he was compounding. He was investing. He was building a business. Let me tell you something right now. I know they got a whole bunch of things going on in Washington, and they're trying to get different laws passed and all that. But I'm gonna put you up on something tonight. Wealth will not be legislated. It won't be taken from one other area and given to some other folks. Even if they wanted to do that, the powers that be will not let them. They will not let them. You got to understand something. The people that are making the rules are wealthy people. They already millionaires. They already worth. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, bless her heart, but she's worth about 30 million. Nancy Pelosi don't understand what's going on day to day with you and all these other different people. She lives a different life. All of these people typically live a different life. Now, it's nothing bad about them. It has nothing to do with their party. This is just the way the system is. But when you start to understand the system, see, think about it. When they leave from what they're doing, they're probably going to be business owners. And they write laws to benefit who? Business owners. So it ain't your job to say whether it's right or wrong. Your job is to learn the rules of the game and play the game. Play by the rules. Just color inside the lines. The IRS will allow you, or they will allow a company to make $11 billion and pay no taxes. They will allow a company, they got rules in place. A company like Netflix can make 800 million and pay no taxes. So why don't you make 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, learn the rules. That's why we teach them. Lower your taxes, maybe even take it down to zero. Flip that money into an investment account. Now you start building wealth and compounding. Then you start showing other people that process. And now your income starts to compound by building a team. Let's keep moving here. So look at this. This is an example of two people. This is why you got to understand compounding with your money. And the longer you wait, the worse off it becomes for you. If you can see this, on the left side, Ebony over here, she's investing. Ebony is 26 years old. And what Ebony did is she started to put some money in her 401k or IRA or whatever the case may be. So Ebony starts at 26 and stops at 33. So she put 2,000 in at 26, 2,000 in at 27, 2,000 in at 28, 2,000 at 29, and so on and so forth until she's 33 years old. And then Ebony just stops. She just stops. So Ebony put about $16,000 in. But because of compounding, her money is growing. Now, Ivory, what Ivory does is by 34, she didn't do anything from 26 to 33. But now Ebony, or not Ebony, but Ebony stopped, and Ivory she started investing 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Now, Ivory started at 34, and she's going to go all the way to 64. So she's going to put 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 all the way in for all those years from 34 to 64 for 30 years. Go to the right side. Look what happened. In 40 years, I mean, not 40 years, but year 40. Sorry, year 40. Look what happens. Ebony only invested 16,000, but Ebony got $1 million. Ivory waited, and then she invested 64,000, and she only got 352,000. That was the difference of waiting. Those few years, 26 to 33. That's really about what, 7 years? So, 8 years, whatever. Now, that's the power and the difference of compounding. Imagine that person that wait till they're 45. They got very little. They got to start compounding faster. It's only one way to compound faster. You got to build a business. See, that's the only options. It's two ways to build wealth. You can invest to build wealth, or build a business to build wealth, or a combination of both. So we call that 3, since it's a combination. Now, You got to speed that time up with your sweat equity. This is how you start keeping up. This is how you start outpacing. This is how you start building wealth. Why do you think we got? See, if that's the opportunity to build a business, well, traditionally, that's a hard deal. Traditionally, you need 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, 700,000. You want a McDonald's, you need $1 million plus. That knocked 95%, 98, 99% of people out of that in this country. That's why we chose network marketing. Because we can get a person in business for less than $100. They qualify for all the tax advantages of a home-based business or even a business, thousands of different tax deductions. We got them in the game. See, that's why we chose networking. That's why we put people in business, because they got to lower them taxes. It's only one real way to lower them taxes: home-based business. And as long as this country is a capitalistic country, the business owners are always going to get tax preferential treatment. That's how it works. Because the business owners make the economy go round and round. If there are no business owners, there's no products and services for the other people to buy. Then when those people buy, then that keeps the economy going. When they start spending and going crazy, that make that economy go fast. When that economy they stop spending, they slow down, then we got a recession. That's why they gave you $600. They knew you was broke. They knew you was gonna take the $600 and go back right out to the store and buy it for food or buy whatever you want to do and put it right back in the economy. That's all that was about. It was never about saving you. It was about saving America. I know they sold it as we got some people out here that got some problems, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. It was always about building and growing the American economy. See, they call the economy good when we got what is called full employment. Full employment is 95% of people employed. They say the economy good. But what about the 5% that's unemployed? The economy ain't good. See, so America can get fixed and it can miss you. I think you got to understand that. And see, when you start understanding this, you're going to take this business way more serious. See, you started compounding now. You started 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago in myecon. You compounding, you've been investing, you compounding. Imagine 30 years from now. Maybe you're around, maybe you're not. But see, your family keep going. See, my family 100 years ago didn't have a business. My father worked, his father worked, his father worked. They all worked 30 years. That was a whole century of people working. They worked jobs. Nobody owned a business, and we stayed flat. But John is building a business today. John is compounding. John has also got investment accounts. They're compounding. When I leave here, that's going to be passed on to people that's here in my family. They take the mantle. It's a relay race. Now they don't start down here. They start up here. And then the family grows again. And then it's a relay race. Then it grows again. It's a relay race. Then it grows again. And we start outpacing everybody else that's not compounding. The longer we stay compounding, the harder it is for anybody else that's not compounding to catch up. The middle class can't never catch up because these other people, the 1%, the 2%, the 3%, the 5%, they've been compounding for 30 years. They've been compounding for 40 years. It's going to continue to get wider. It's going to continue to grow faster. They're making more and more money on them investments, more and more money on them business because the business is larger. So the income gains are going to go to them. Can't go to you. You don't got the mechanics of it. You don't have the mechanics of income growth with your linear pay. When Alvin Curry taught me this, changed my life. Because then I knew where to focus. You don't got to quit your job today, but you better start building leverage. You better start building residual. Now you do it like this. See, let's go build. Let's take a goal. We can talk about 1,000, but I'm gonna show you 10,000. 10,000 people can outwork you. That's a system of leverage. You got a biz worth $10 million. $8.50 on these people, that's $85,000 a month. Not a year, a month. See, that's an example of compounding right there. You can't go make $85,000 a month by yourself. You need a system of leverage. You can't do that on your job. The mechanics of this ain't there. People be talking about that, ooh, God just blessed me with some wealth. The mechanics of wealth ain't on your job. And they wonder why God they gave them no $10 million yet. Maybe $10 million can't flow through the job and get to you. Have you ever thought about that? When you get a conduit that he can bless through your work, now we got something. Now we got something. Now he can say, okay, I can bless John down here. I can send him some customers. I can expand his territory. And I can help him get blessed. I can help him be blessed because he got a witty idea and invention that made room for him at the top. The job might not be the witty invention that you're looking for or that you thought it was. 20% of those people, guys, are gonna be working. They make one sale a month, one $19.95 sale a month. That's another $17,000 a month, y'all. See, I'm showing you what it takes if you want to go make $1 million a year. Now we can slice this in half. We can do 50%. We can do 10%. Either way, it don't matter what you do. All of them outwork you. Every single one of them. And don't let nobody tell you all you need to do is just go sell you some myecon products. They lying. No, look at anybody or any company that's selling the most. They got the biggest network. McDonald's whoop everybody on fast food because they got the biggest network. They got the worst hamburger and they sell more than everybody. Waffle House sell more steaks than everybody, including Ruth Chris and Morton Steakhouse. Ruth Chris got a $50 steak. Waffle House got a $5 steak because they got steak and eggs. And they whoop that thing every day. Bam, bam, bam. It ain't got nothing to do with the quality of the product. It's got to do with the network. It's got to do with the distribution system. Or more importantly, let me make it plain. It has to do with the system of leverage and compounding. See, one Waffle House can't sell but so much, but they got hundreds of them and thousands of them all up and down the freeway. Sometimes they got them on one side and the other side. They get you coming and they get you going. They knew what leverage mean. They knew, they said, we got to build a system of leverage. We need multiple distribution points. Every time you get a new person with a membership in a website, that's a new distribution point. This is wealth building 101 at its finest. myecon is the best wealth building machine that you will ever come in contact with because you can do it for little to nothing. And since the government pays the bill, people are getting a free business. And if somebody tells you they don't want one, they never wanted one in the first place. You see it. That's $1.6 million a year. This is a system of leverage. It's a system of residual. But now see, here's what you got to do. Here's what we all got to do. We all got to get out here and we got to work our business. We got to talk to people. We got to talk to them in person. We got to talk to them online. We got to talk to them through the automated marketing system. We got to use all the tools of the trade to build and grow. And you got to get whatever you can build. God will bless whatever you can build. But you got to believe it. You got to do it. You got to say, hey, it is up to me. Stop waiting on someone else. Stop waiting on your upline. Stop waiting on your downline. Stop waiting on your sideline. Stop waiting on your right line. Why don't you get on your line and say, I'm going to start. I'm going to be the catalyst. I'm going to be the one that gets the thing moving. And then you go recruit somebody. And then you go quick start somebody. And then you help that somebody get somebody. And you help that other person get somebody. And one day, you're going to find you a leader. You're going to find you somebody that wants to go to work and build a business. You're going to find you somebody that wants to compound. You're going to find somebody that stopped making excuses. You're going to find somebody that quit crying and complaining and talking about everybody else. And they're going to say, it's up to me. And go get yourself 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like they say on Sesame Street, but they add 11, 12. And then, boom, you got you 10 key leaders. 10 key leaders can go put 1,000 people in business. 10 key leaders go put, go put 10,000 people in business. 10, 12 key leaders go put 50,000 people in business. But you never find them if you don't go look. Stop waiting on them to come to your house. Stop waiting on them to just comment on your post. Be the catalyst that builds the system of leverage. So I hope you learned something tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, as you can see, we covered a lot of stuff. The rich are getting richer because they're building different types of income. Their incomes are compounding. They've been compounding for decades. And the middle class or poor people, they're not compounding. They're adding. See, when you compound, you're multiplying. Bam, 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 it's on top, on top, on top. And that's not happening with the average person. They're trying to get a pay raise. Pay raises are just little additions to income that really don't help very much because of inflation. So we talked about 2 areas of compounding. They were compounding in a business form, and then also they're compounding in investments. So what everyone must do, if they're going to change their life and build their finances and grow and keep up, you got to start building 1, leveraged income, which means someone else has to help you make money. And number 2, you got to build some residual income, meaning expend your effort once, get paid over and over and over again. Now you're stacking income on top of income. That's what I learned many years ago from my mentor. So I hope this helped you out today. And like I said before, hey, we're rocking and rolling. Today is a great day to build a business. If you want to work with me, hey, the link is in the bottom. Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. And I'll see you next time. I'll talk to you soon.